Hi everybody, it's Colleen. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all having a great Saturday. I'm coming in, I'm doing a quick little demo on how to wax a non-Couture surface. It's a piece of wood that I got at a box store. And just wanted to come in real quick and show you how to wax it, to prep it for chalk paste or Couture ink. I usually use paste on this type of surface. So I just wanted to come in real quick and show you how to do this. I can tell you a little tidbit that just came out of convention that pretty soon you're not going to have to go to box stores to get stuff like this, because there's going to be some new products coming out where you can get surfaces like these directly from Couture. How fun! It's going to be so amazing. I cannot wait for July 2nd. I am so excited about this. There's going to be an amazing launch coming out with new transfers and some other amazing goodies that I'm really not at liberty to say right now, but I can just tell you it's going to be amazing. So I just wanted to come in and show you this. This is, like I said, just a little piece of wood that I got from a box store, and anytime I get something like this, it is not the best smooth surface, so I like to come in and just wax it. I think that it works best when you're going to be using this surface, so it doesn't ruin your transfer, makes your paste go on nice and smooth. So I do use just Minwax natural color, and this is what I've been using on my projects, and it just makes the transfer go on so much nicer. So I just cut up an old t-shirt, so I just dig in there and get some of the wax right onto my rag and just get a nice good coat of wax on my shirt. You can tell that I've been beating up this jar. And then I just take my surface and I kind of work in like a circular fashion, kind of working with the grain. This grain is kind of going this way, so I kind of move it all around, just trying to get the wax in all the nooks and crannies. And I am pretty generous when I am using wax. I want to make sure that I've got a good amount in there. And you are definitely going to be able to tell, because once you have the wax on there, you can feel the difference with your hands. So you can tell the difference, how much smoother this is right here from here. I mean, it's definitely, you can tell the difference. So we're just going to use the wax and just complete the whole board. So what I'm doing is I'm actually making some baby gifts for my husband's co-worker. So we went and we got this piece of wood that I'm waxing, and I thought I wanted to put this adorable "Your First Breath Took Ours Away." So I'm going to put this on the piece of wood so they can hang it in their baby's room. And then once I get this prepped, I'll show you the other projects that I'm going to make. But like I said, I think that this definitely is the way to go with wood pieces before you use any of the Couture products on here. I noticed too, if you're going to use wood that is distressed, it's not going to give you the quality and the life for your transfers. Typically our transfers, we guarantee them for between 8 and 10 uses, depending upon the different surfaces that you use. And obviously if you do use the transfer on a surface that you're not treating with wax, it's not going to do well for the back of your transfer, because it is a sticky surface, so it's going to pull up all the different things on a not treated piece of wood. Learned that the hard way, so that's why I'm coming in just showing you how to just prep this. Now I know some people say to let this go for 24 hours after you wax it. I guess that just depends. Now I have not done that. I've actually done a project after I've waxed right away, and it seemed to be fine for me. So it's It's up to you. I mean, if you feel safer waiting for the 24 hours, that's completely fine, but I haven't done that, so that's completely your call. I guess you could test it out and see how you feel about that. But for me, I just go on with a nice generous coat of wax. Like I said, just making sure I'm kind of going with the green and just trying to work in all the nooks and crannies, just making sure I'm getting a good amount of wax in there. And then I feel pretty comfortable with applying my chalk paste to it. I do use chalk paste, like I said, on wax. I don't really see the point in using the Couture Ink because there's not really a way to heat set it on there. I mean, you can use the iron, but then you can't bake wood and you can't iron it. So I meant to say you can use a hairdryer is what I meant to say on wood, but then you can't iron it like you do on a shirt, and you can't use a heat press, and you can't bake it. That's what I was trying to say. So I find just using chalk paste on wood is kind of the way to go. You can seal it if you want with like a Krylon spray sealer, and that would make it permanent. So for me, just using good old chalk paste on your transfer on wood is the way that I go. So that to me is really all you need to do. And now when I run my hands across this, oh my goodness, it feels so much smoother, so much better. Now I am ready to put my transfer on there and my chalk paste and ready to go. So that's really all there was to it. It's pretty easy. And that didn't really take any effort at all. And like I said, July 2nd, stay tuned, because you guys are going to see some amazing new surfaces coming from Chalk Couture. So that's all there is to that. And like I said, I am going to be putting this little beauty of a transfer with chalk paste on that surface. So I just want to get some of that paste off my hands, and then I'm going to show you the project that we're going to work on tonight. This is one of the gifts that I'm going to do for the new baby. And this adorable tiny, oh my gosh, this is so tiny. I can't believe a little human head fits in this hat. Look how tiny that is. But I thought, how cute would this be? I don't do mornings. Isn't that sweet? So I'm going to put that in ink on this cute little tiny hat. Let's put our lid on our wax, and we'll move that off to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab, I think I'm going to use white Couture ink on this navy blue hat. I think that would look good. So I just want to make sure that I have my mat. So I'm going to grab that real quick. So this is our mat. This is our ink mat, and it comes actually a little longer, like that long, but I cut off a little piece because I have done a couple different projects, smaller projects. I've done a couple onesies, and I may actually even have to cut this a little smaller because I don't think this guy's going to fit in this teeny tiny hat. So let's see if we can get him to fit in here. And the reason that we use this mat is because we want to put this in here so that our ink doesn't bleed through to the other side. We may be able to get this to squeeze in here. This may just work. This is sticky, and this is going to hold our surface so that it's going to stick from the inside on here so that it's not going to wiggle around on us. This is going to be a little tight because this is a newborn hat, as this baby's about to be born in a couple weeks. I'm just going to maneuver here just to try to get this where I want this. And this is, oh my gosh, it's such a tiny little guy. Okay, and I'm just going to try to press this down so I can get that where I want it. I've got a little thing on here. I'm trying to make sure that this is nice and flat. Woo! That wax is really strong. Oh my goodness. Alright, I feel a little bump, and I don't know if that's just a bump in the... Okay, what is that? I think that's just a bump in the hat. I just want to make sure that's not going to be a problem when I'm going to put my ink down. Okay, I think I feel pretty good there. I feel pretty... Sorry, I'm just a little OCD right now, making sure that that's on here good, because sometimes ink is not my friend, And because this is a gift, I want to make sure that this is going on really well. So let's see. So as with any new transfer, or when you first get your transfer, sometimes it just has the carrier sheet that's blank on the back. So you would normally label it with the word back or whatever the transfer happens to be. This transfer actually has the instructions on it, so I can tell that that's the back of the transfer and that's the shiny side. That's the side that my transfer is going to return to once I am finished with it. We don't want to put it on the paper side because then it's going to stick to it and we'll never get the transfer off. The transfer is sticky. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it to my pants and just get a little bit of fuzz on it so that it's not going to stick too hard to my little hat here. The reason that we do that is because sometimes if it's too sticky, it's going to be hard to get it back off, especially when you're using it on glass for the first time. So I just put it on my pants, lifted it up, and took it back off and on a few times. So there's a little lip right here, so I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not going to be hitting that because that is going to be a problem, I think. So let's just try and, I've only got a tiny little space to work with here. This guy's so small. Alright, let's see if we can get this lined up right where the comma is there. Let's see. Oh, I think that's going to be perfect. Okay. Alright, I'm just making sure I've got a nice tight fit here between my transfer and my hat. Making sure that I'm not feeling any bubbles. And you know what I just realized? I forgot to put water in my pan. Oh my goodness. Bear with me for 1 second. I just have to run and just grab a little bit of water because I do not want to not have water in my pan for when I'm done. Because as soon as I get the chalk ink on there and I remove the transfer, I want to make sure that I get that transfer right into water so that I can remove the ink from my transfer because I want to use this transfer multiple times, which you can see that I actually already have. I've used ink on this transfer before. I made a mug and I used black Couture ink on it, so you can see the outline of the black Couture ink, and that is perfectly fine. So long as my silkscreen area is clear, I am perfectly fine. I can use this transfer many times. In fact, not only can I use Couture ink on this transfer again, I can also switch and use chalk paste on it as well. So that's fantastic that you can go back and forth between the two different things. You can go back and forth between ink or chalk paste. So when opening your ink, like I just did right there, I got ink on my finger, so you always need to make sure that you have a paper towel handy so that you can make sure that you have no ink on your fingers anywhere, because you don't want to accidentally touch somewhere on your medium that you're using and then accidentally get ink somewhere, which I am famous for doing. So I'm just giving my ink a quick little stir, not that I really need to, but I just like to make sure that we're good to go. And out of habit, I always do it with my paste. So I always like to just do it with my ink as well. So I'm just going to grab my squeegee and get a tiny bit of ink on here. We do not need a lot of ink. The ink goes a long way. So I'm just going to double check that I'm on here good. And it is pretty close to the top, so I'm actually going to turn this sideways and work this way and just go right across with my ink. Oh my gosh, this makes me nervous, especially when I'm doing it as a gift. It makes me nervous. But it's okay. I have another hat just in case. Just in case I goof. Just applying the ink across, getting all the excess off. Just gotta get this little tiny spot right here. You can, if you want, use paint or tape around the edges in case you're concerned that you're gonna go off and you don't want the ink to go onto the little hat here where it's not supposed to. Because some transfers do go right to the edge. Like this guy is going a little close for comfort here, but I'm just taking my time. That is key. Sometimes I'm not always one to take my time and I kind of rush things. So I just have to learn to slow it down so I don't make a mistake. And I flip this back around and get the top right here. Almost done. Just making sure I got the tippy top here. That is pretty close to the top. Okay. One final swoop. Making sure I get all that off. I feel like I just want to get right up here at the top. Okay. Alrighty. Moment of truth. Again, checking my fingers to make sure that I do not have any ink, because when I pull this off, I don't want any ink on my fingers. And here we go. Fingers crossed. Oh, don't rub on each other. Oh my gosh, this guy is so tiny. Okay, I'm going to get that into water. Oh God, this head is so tiny. It's making me nervous. I'm going to leave the mat where it is, and I'm going to blow dry this to make this ink dry very quickly. I apologize, just turn the hair dryer on for a second. Just closing up my ink over here to the side while I was blow drying that. I want to make sure that lid is on nice and tight. Make sure I got all the excess off the sides. Checking my hands again before I touch anything. Let's see how we're doing, if this is dry. It's still a little wet. I want to give it another shot because I do not want to take this mat out before it's dry. Tell I'm rushing now because I've turned the hair dryer on higher. All right, that feels pretty good. Let's get this out of here. Oh my goodness. Look how cute that is. I don't know what this was on here before I started. That wasn't ink. I don't know what that was. Yeah, it's a little fuzzy or something. That was on there before we started. I'll get that off. But, so the final step, now that we have the ink dry and our mat removed, I'm going to grab my iron. So we do a sheet of parchment paper and an iron. If you have a heat press, you can use that as well. The heat press, I believe, goes on 330. And that's, I want to say, for 30 seconds. I do not have a heat press, so I'm not entirely sure of the settings on that. I have a good old-fashioned iron that I use, which works just as well. So we'll get that going. And just a little bit of parchment paper here. And that's going to bother me what that little fuzzy is, but I will get that off. So then we're just going to lay down. I just want to make sure that this is definitely good and dry. So then we're just going to put our parchment paper on here, and we're going to iron this for 4 minutes, turn it inside out, and iron it for 4 minutes on the other side. But in the meanwhile, I wanted to show you real quick some of the other amazing little, cute little projects that I thought would be fun. So here's another idea that you could do for onesies. So this is You Are My Everything transfer that would be super cute on a onesie. Right there. Then we have, I thought this would be really cute. This little cute little onesie with You Can't Touch This transfer. How adorable is that? One of my favorites. This is a little little lamb, and it says I love you more, and it's EWE. That's adorable. And then last but not least, I do have the one more hat. And like I said, I bought 2 just in case it didn't go so well with my first one. And I think I'm just going to put love on that one. It is pretty big. I think that's going to be pretty adventurous, but we'll give that a whirl. And so we'll have that along with the amazing board with Your First Breath Took Ours Away. So I thought that that would be really cute. And that's something that my husband asked me to put together for a coworker for his wife who's going to have a baby in a couple weeks. Hi, Pam. I was just using ink today on a project. It can be tricky. It is. Ink and me aren't always friends. It's still a work in progress with me, especially because I tend to do little baby things and they're so super tiny, and I am impatient. So, but yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. The onesies are a little bit easier to work with. The hat was a challenge, but I think it came out really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just go ahead and iron it now. But that was some of the ideas that I thought, why not just get onesies and just jazz them up with the transfers that we have? How fun would that be? So we'll just go ahead and take the iron. Like I said, just lay it on here for about 4 minutes or so. And that's really all there is to it, to be honest. That's going to be heat set on there. You can wash this little guy, and it will be no problem. I actually made a couple onesies, let's see, a couple months ago for a coworker of mine, actually. And I asked her to let me know how they held up, and she said no problems at all. She said that she's washed them quite a few times, and they held up great, and she loves them. So I was thrilled about that. I do okay with white and green, but navy blue gives me trouble for some reason. Yeah, that's a tough one. I tend to forget. That's why I do it constantly now, to always check my fingers, because I'm very sloppy, and that is where my downfall is. I always get it on my finger somewhere and touch my project somewhere, and that's my downfall. So, and it's me. It's nothing to do with the product at all. It's just me being impatient and me being sloppy. So I just have to learn to take my time and just pay more attention to what I'm doing. That's pretty much it. So, but it looks so cute, just jazzing up something so adorable like this, and it makes it expecting our first great grandbaby. So excited to make some things for, aw, Debbie. It is so exciting. That's amazing. I can't wait for you to make something. That's so much fun. I love little baby things. I couldn't get over holding this in my hand today. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so tiny. Look how tiny and cute this is. I'm like, I can't believe an actual little baby's head fits in here. It's so cute. But I love that. I thought that. I showed these all to my husband and said, do you think that, do you like all the different sayings for the hats and all that I picked out? And he said, yeah, he liked this. I love this one. I think that's adorable. So that's pretty much it, guys. I thank you for hanging in there with me. And what I'll do is once I get all these projects done, I'll just add them to this thread, waiting to see if it's a boy or a girl. Aww. You have to let us know, Debbie, and post your pics once you make some of your things for your little great-grandbaby. let us know. Alright guys, I got some more work cut out for me. I gotta make a couple more onesies and another hat. So you have a fantastic night, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.